So as we're watching this fly through of the game, I just want to explain a couple of things. In my entire game, I have 7 main rooms and 2 smaller meshed out rooms. The 2 smaller meshed out rooms do not serve a purpose, it's just there for aesthetics. I have my 7 main rooms, 2 of which are one's my start area, one is my end area. My start area, as you'll see in a minute, is just going to be like a tutorial level, getting the player used to the basics and the mechanics of the game. And then the rooms after is where I'm going to be starting to jump into some more puzzles. As the player spawns in, they're met with a power cube. The power cube is movable, so as you see here, I do tend to pick up the cube. I place it on the power plate, which opens up the door, as you just saw there. Heading through the door, the player is met with another sign. Straight to the left there's a power cube. I place the power cube on the power plate again, which as you see here, it activates the jump pad. This is where the player first encounters a checkpoint. Right behind the checkpoint there's another power cube. As you can see here, the power cube cannot pass the cube wall. The entire area I've just shown is pretty much just a tutorial level or a starting room, just getting the player used to all the mechanics. So this is the first puzzle room, pretty much very basic. The player finds a power cube, takes it up the first lot of stairs, has to make a jump over to the second lot of stairs, over the blue cube wall, places it on the power plate, and that opens the door. Moving on into the second puzzle room. This one's a little bit more complicated than the last one. So you're met with a power cube, the player takes it over, places it on a power plate, which activates a jump pad, just like it was shown in the tutorial level. The player then finds another power cube. This one then, as you can see, activates a power spawner, which drops another cube. That cube is then taken over, placed on this third power plate, which pretty much just activates a bridge. And then the last stage is for the player to grab the previous cube, place it on that one there, and it opens the door. So as the player's moving on, this is puzzle room 3. This one's a little bit different again from the last one, just because there's 2 power doors to open, not just the one. So as the player runs up these stairs, they're met with some parkour. When the player finishes the parkour, they're rewarded with a power cube. So the player takes his power cube, drops back down, places the power cube on the power plate itself. But as you can see, there's 2 doors at the minute that are locked. The player places it on the power plate, only one of the doors open. Coming to the end of the corridor, the player is given a choice to either go left or right. In this instance, the player goes left. As you can see, it just takes you to a small meshed out room. The room itself doesn't serve any purpose, it's just to break up the corridors itself. This is where the player moves into the 4th puzzle room. The player just finds a power cube hidden behind the desk, just there. He takes that power cube, puts it on a power plate. That activates a power cube spawner. He grabs that power cube just there from the spawner, takes it up the stairs, which activates the bridge. But the player then realizes that I have to go back, reuse the same power cube that I used for the power cube spawner, sorry. He then grabs that, takes it over the bridge, where he just walks over a checkpoint just there. It's the very small section here where he has to parkour with the cube. He then places the cube on the power plate, and just a pop-up just there. This is when the player realizes that one of the other puzzles where it had the locked door potentially could be open now. So this is where the player just walks down the corridor, walks into another meshed out room, just a small area. Again, serves no purpose, just to break the corridors up, that's all. So earlier when the player was given a choice to either go left or right, it just loops back round. So yeah, as you can just see, the player notices that the door from earlier is now open. So this is the final puzzle room. player drops off the side of the stairs to find the power cube. The player then takes the power cube back up the stairs. And the player then realizes that the power cube has to go on the power plate at the other side. So the player just does some simple parkour. Places the cube on the power plate. Jumps straight back over. And then the player again has to do this section here. Player grabs the spawned power cube, takes it over onto this power plate just down here, which opens up the door in the top right hand corner just there. So now the player needs another power cube, so he realizes he can just go grab this one here. Once the player makes the jump, he places the power cube on the power plate, and just like you see there, it opens up the door. So this area just here is the end room. The player is completely done with the puzzles now, that's it. This is pretty much the end of the game. It's just a room for the flag itself. So as you see, the player walks through, and that's the end of the game.